And now we're learning new information about an accident that Marshawn Lynch was involved in 6 months prior. And the details are pretty incredible. The guy joining us on the line right now, boys, we do my show for years, and I always love having him on. They do a great job at TMZ. Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports joining us. Mike, good to see you, my friend. How are you?
What's up, Brian? I'm doing great. How are you? It's good to be on again.
I appreciate that. Know how busy you guys are over there, so always appreciate the time.
Of course.
All right, so, thanks, Mike. So, what can you tell us about this? This was 6 months ago. You guys put it up on your website yesterday. What happened?
Yeah, we got actually have some police body cam footage of this too. In ways, very similar situation to what happened 6 months later. But Brian, this was February 22nd, and about 4 a.m. Police in Vegas they respond to a Lamborghini, a 2014 white Lamborghini Aventador, that had apparently crashed into a curb and a fence, and then skidded 50 feet and lay in a landscaped area disabled. So police respond, and they find a guy at the scene who says he's Marshawn Lynch's cousin, and that he was the one that was driving the car. Well, police had been told that somebody else was at the scene, somebody that resembled Marshawn, that they actually had been picked up by a van and taken away from the scene. So they're questioning this guy, Brian, and police trying to figure out if this dude was actually the driver. And the guy, then he says, I came in the van. And then they said, if you came in the van, how were you driving? And he's switching his story, can't get his story straight. So they end up citing him, but Marshawn wasn't there. So he wasn't cited and he wasn't arrested. Well, 3 days later, they finally are able to get in touch with Marshawn. Marshawn comes into the traffic bureau, Brian, and they have a conversation with him, and he admits to being the one who was actually driving the Lamborghini that night. Says he crashed because he didn't know the area. He was new to Vegas and just didn't know where he was going. So they say, why did you leave the scene then, Marshawn? And he says, because there were people there who had started taking video of him, didn't want to be photographed or have video taken. So he says he got picked up and he left. So
two problems with this. First of all, if somebody did take video of it, where is it? Why is it not been released? That's number one. And number two, even if they were taking video, that's not an excuse to leave the scene of a crime or an accident, right?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But it and not that I would encourage anyone to do this, but here it seems like it might have worked, especially, and we'll never know if he was by chance under the influence. The fact that he left, obviously 3 days later, there's no way to figure out if he had taken something days earlier. So he ends up paying $750 on a charge of parking his car in a place where you're not allowed to park your car. So much less severe than what could have possibly been here if he had been behind the wheel and had stayed at the scene that night.
Marshawn Lynch's attorney saying that this is a non-story, that it's case closed. But is it a non-story? Because it gives a perception of, okay, he's done this before. He's going to do it again. I would suspect he probably was drunk. Why else would you leave the scene of a crime? He didn't want to get caught. And now we'll never know. But again, I say, why would you leave in the first place? Right. And now, with this case that you guys covered a month ago, it's still ongoing. So I think it is important, right?
Yeah. And how similar, Brian, right? When you look at the two cases, I mean, you have in the more recent case where Marshawn was fast asleep in the driver's seat when the cops showed up. I mean, there they say too, driving late at night, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., hits a curb in a fancy car. I think the only difference likely is that the one that happened in the summer, Marshawn just put the seat back and took a nap. And the one in February, he obviously got out of there.
So you guys are really good at getting in contact with everybody, but I would imagine Marshawn Lynch, he's not talking to anybody these days, right?
No, not yet. He hasn't said anything. And I think you made a good point too about the video, Brian. A lot of times with these situations, especially if we've covered similar stories, and we have with that Marshawn Lynch DUI that he just got, if there was video, if people had saw him and started taking video of him, it really surprises me that we wouldn't have heard anything about it. In these situations, more times than not, people reach out to us and contact us. So
of course,
we haven't gotten anything like that.
And this was like a side road in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you right now, being in Vegas 20 years, in the middle of the night, if I see a crashed car on the side of the road and I see a couple people standing there, as I'm driving by, I'm not going to to Marshawn Lynch.
It wasn't in front of the Wynn, right? I mean, it was. Right. It's a side street in a more residential area. So it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Well, listen, Mike, I appreciate your time and I appreciate that update. I don't think this story is going to go away, and I wouldn't be surprised if the prosecutors in a courtroom, because he's going to be in court soon, bring this up. I think it's fair, right? So we'll have to.
That's a great point. Be interesting to see if they try and bring this into the upcoming DUI trial. We'll see we'll follow it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch has some celebrity attorneys that have, one of them, is representing Ruggs and a lot of other cases. Paris Hilton in the past. He's got some good attorneys. He's got money. That's certainly on his side. But I think if there's nothing that happens to him as far as a court of law goes, nothing substantial, he's going to do it again. I hope he doesn't, but that's just my personal opinion. And Mr. Babcock, if that does happen, we hope it doesn't. We know you guys will be on top of it, but I appreciate you coming on. We know how busy you are, and we'll let you get back to it, my friend. I appreciate you coming on with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Brian. I'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate that. Thank you. That's Mike Babcock, TMZ Sports. Busy man. Okay, can we just be honest here for a minute?